Hello and welcome to the Retreading Business YouTube channel. For episode 10 of the Retread cast, we interviewed Karun Sanghi, the Managing Director of Indian Retread at Tyresoles, who also happens to be the President of the Indian Retreaders Association. Here now is that interview in full. Today on the Retread cast, we're going over to India to talk to Karun Sanghi, the Managing Director of Tyresoles, who is also President of the Indian Retreaders Association. Good morning, Karun, and welcome to the Retread cast.
Good afternoon, David.
Well, let's begin with the most pressing topic of the moment. 2020 has been a difficult year like no other. So how has the COVID pandemic affected the retreading market in India? And what measures have you put in place at Tyresoles to mitigate the effects of the pandemic?
So what happened in India is we had a very, very severe lockdown. So from middle of March till most of April, half of May, everything was shut down. Our factories, we didn't leave the house. So pretty much everything was shut down. From middle of May, business started at 10% and 15%. And by September, we were actually, September, October, we were about equal to last year, September, October. So it's beginning to improve. Diesel sales are still much less than last year, which is an indicator of how much transport is moving. And every month is uncertain. You know, September, October, I thought, okay, things are looking up. November slowed down a little bit. December is much slower. So we just kind of wait and see from month to month.
Absolutely. So just tell me a little bit about the key trends in the Indian retread market at the moment.
So it's very hard. I think most of us are trying to get by. I mean, okay, can I survive one? With the lockdown, what also happened was all of the money that was outstanding in the market got stuck. Bus customers pretty much haven't started working even now. So if you had any business dealing with a bus operator, he hasn't paid you his old bills, he hasn't, so some percentage of money is completely stuck. Transport is beginning to move. The big difference is we are now pretty much doing business without any credit or mostly no credit at all, because nobody wants to take on more risk. So it's streamlining in some ways. It's uncertain still, and hard to say. It's okay. It goes on from hopefully day to day, month to month.
Yeah, I think it's difficult everywhere in the world at the moment, as you know. So, how do you see the prospects for growing the market in the future once the COVID situation is over?
If you look at the Indian stock market, it's at record highs. Some businesses are booming, right? Home appliances, consumer goods, all of that is like record high business. So eventually, I think the transport business has to pick up and retreading has to pick up. The other big change that's happened in India with COVID, the Indian government has pretty much blocked all imported tires. So no Chinese tires, no any other tires, even like high-end car tires are being difficult to import. So their supply is disrupted. But that gives us a great opportunity for retreading.
Absolutely, yeah. So let me talk a little bit about the Indian market. When we talk about the Indian market, we often talk about the juxtaposition between the organised and the unorganised sectors of the market. So how do you see the relationship between these two sectors developing in the future? And what can the high quality end of the market do to continue to move the market in the direction of high quality retread products?
You know, we had GST come in a couple of years ago, and we thought, okay, now the organized players will do much better, but that didn't really happen. This has disrupted, so many of the smaller players have actually shut down. With the COVID shutdown, they're gone. But there's enough still left, and their startup cost is so low. They just shut down the factory for a few months, then they open it up again, it picks up. and they're back in business a little bit every time. So they don't actually leave the market. So I keep thinking it'll consolidate now, but it seems to go on and on and on. We had our association AGM on Friday last week, and all of the big thread rubber guys were on the call, and they were all like, the business has gone down drastically for everybody in the last 1 month, and nobody seems to understand what happened, right? It was going up in November, December suddenly dropped off again. And it's like everyone thinks someone else took the business, but here nobody seems to have got the business.
Interesting. So I'm glad you mentioned the association. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what are the latest developments with regards to the association? So how many members do you currently have at the moment, and what are your aims for growing the membership in the future?
Our membership is actually just quite low. We've got most of the big players on board. The smaller guys are just too busy. Again, the unorganized sector is just too busy. They're not interested in any association. And we have limited our association agenda to just promote the concept of retreading. Retreading is safe. Retreading will save you money. We're not getting into any discussion about pricing or what should be the right price or anything. And if there's some legislative issue that comes up, we try and address that.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you've sort of answered my next question to a degree. What are the key cornerstones of your work program for the next couple of years? You know, what are your priorities moving forward?
Basically, just to promote the concept of retreading, and the whole thing about that. So, retreading is safe. Retreading will save you money. Understand about the quality of retreading. You know, are you getting a good quality retread or not? People should begin to understand. It's not that it's, you know, even the little guy without any kind of equipment who retreads a tire, that's not necessarily safe. So you need to start understanding and visiting the factories where you're retreading the tires and understand what you're getting.
Absolutely. So what would you say are the main challenges facing retreaders in India at the moment? I guess you've partly answered that question as well already, but just if you could expand a little bit on this, you know, in terms of technology and legislation, you know, what is the association doing to help retreaders in this regard?
Actually, there's not much certification at all. You can retreader with almost no licensing, no quality checks, which is a big challenge. There was some talk of introducing a European standard, BIS, which is Indian standard, but it hasn't really come through. It's still very much on paper. They haven't finalized it. I'm not sure how they will actually even implement it, even if they do finalize. So it's a challenge. I don't know if that standardization will happen.
Right. Okay. Well, talking about your own company, Tyresoles, maybe you could just give us a little bit of information about how your company is developing at the moment, what your recent developments are, and what your aims are for the next 5 years or so.
We've been expanding, so we were in multiple locations, but with the COVID thing, we have actually shrunk a little bit. I've shut down a couple of units so that we're a little more cost effective. Still, the business continues exactly the same. We're trying to be good quality retreading for our customers and be cost effective for the customer. Right? We have recently introduced retreaded tires, which in the past we didn't do. And we're trying to position this as a new product. In the Indian market, retreaded tires as a separate product didn't exist till a few months ago, because now the tax structure makes it possible. So now we're trying to build a whole sales network of retreaded tires, which I think may be the next for us.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Karun. We appreciate it. And I certainly look forward to seeing you at Tire Expo Asia next November, if not before.